Darlings, I have big, huge, massive news for you guys. Francis Kurkdjian is moving over to Christian Dior. Do you know what this means? I am so excited. If you are a lover of the House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian and Christian Dior, then you need to watch this video because I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite perfumes from the brands. And also I'll be talking about the style of Christian Dior and what I think is going to happen for the House of Dior. So if that interests you, keep on watching. If you're new to my channel, my name is Charlene, and on this channel I talk about fragrances, lifestyle, fashion and tea. Today I'm going to be focusing on perfumes, and we are talking about Christian Dior, guys. You know how much I love and adore Christian Dior. Dior is one of my favorite fragrance houses, and this week we received such wonderful news about Francis Kurkdjian moving over to Dior. So when I found out the news, I released a video on my Instagram TV, and I just had to do a live with you guys, and I had to share my thoughts of this great news. This is big, guys, this is huge, and I am just so excited. I just cannot wait to see what's going to happen. This is like the best news ever. If you are a perfume lover and you adore wearing fragrances, then this is such great news because we have two of my favorite houses combining, joining forces, working together. This is amazing. Francis Kurkdjian has been creating fragrances for many years now. We're talking over 15 years, even more so. He is one of the best creators in terms of fragrances, and you guys know how much I love his style. And my goodness, guys, I'm just so excited. I just don't even know where to start. So let's relax, let's calm down a little bit. But for a perfume lover like myself, someone that appreciates fragrances, this is just huge news. Now, Christian Dior is a brand that you all know that I love, I adore and I admire, the fashion as well as the fragrances. So now we have Francis Kurkdjian, who has been appointed as their creative director, and he's going to be head of creating all the fragrances, and I hope that he'll be doing even more than just fragrances as well. If you guys don't know who Maison Francis Kurkdjian is, he is the creator of the wonderful fragrance that is so popular here on YouTube. It's just one of the main fragrances that you just need to have in your collection now, and it's called Baccarat Rouge. And I remember when this fragrance was released, and the very first time I tried this fragrance, it was love at first sniff. It was just a beautiful fragrance that I just truly adored. Most of his perfumes, or should I say all of his fragrances, are just stunning pieces of art that I just adore, I just absolutely love. I'm just really excited to see what we'll be heading over to Dior, what we're going to see now. So Francois de Marché is handing over the reins now to Francis Kurkdjian. And now Francis Kurkdjian has Dior as his new child to now look after and grow and share his creations with the world. So let's talk about Francis Kurkdjian. Now, I truly adore his work. I think his style is just so remarkable. And when I look at his fragrances, to me his fragrances are a lot more than just a perfume or a scent. To me his work is like a piece of art. It's just so different, unique, and you can just draw so much of his inspirations just by wearing the perfume. It just takes you to a different place. His fragrances makes you feel some type of way, and I really do love that. I love the inspirations that Francis brings to his fragrances, so for that reason I'm just so excited to see what he has in store for Christian Dior. And I think going forward, moving to Dior, I think he's really going to look at the brand and assess it very well. I think he's going to look at Dior and think, okay, I'm taking over now, and we're going to not change it drastically, but we're going to make some subtle changes. And I think that he's going to look at the brand and think, who are the people wearing my fragrances? Who are the Dior consumers? Who are they? I think he's going to look at the history of Dior, he's going to look at the style, he's going to look at the fashion, the types of dresses that they create, and I think he's going to bring that sort of elegance and sophistication into Dior. Not that it wasn't there before, but he's going to put his own twist on it. He's going to look at the silhouettes by the designs, and I think he's going to look at the type of women that wear the perfumes, or the types of women he would like to draw to the brand. And I think it's going to be based on femininity and elegance, sophistication, but yes, in his own way. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's have a look at some of the perfumes that Francis Kurkdjian has created for other designer houses. So I have a few in my collection. I'm going to mention about 3. So the very first perfume I'd like to mention is my Elie Saab, and this is the La Perfume. This is your orange blossom fragrance. Guys, this is stunning. Now, this is a designer perfume, but the quality, the smell of this, it's just so niche-like. It smells expensive. It definitely smells expensive. You've got orange blossom in here, jasmine. It's just really beautiful. Le Parfum smells so expensive, guys. I love this fragrance, and I do talk about this perfume. Actually, I have a special video coming up for you soon. It's all about whether or not you should be buying a niche fragrance. So look out for that one. This perfume is so expensive smelling. It's based on orange blossom. We have rose, we have jasmine in here. This is extremely elegant, floral, and it just smells so expensive. For a designer house, this is beautiful. And I think this is like one of my favorite perfumes, that knowing that Francis Kurkdjian made it, without a doubt, this is what I'm looking for my next Christian Dior fragrance. There's something about this perfume that I have to say, it's like you can just smell the quality of the perfume. You've got the oils in here, you've got the fragrant notes in here. It doesn't smell like lots of alcohol or it's too watery. It smells rich and intense, if you know what I mean, in terms of the quality. We have Burberry next up, and Francis has worked a lot with Burberry. He has many fragrances from this house. So I have here my Burberry Her, and this perfume came out, I believe, in either 2017 or 18, and when I tried this fragrance, my goodness, this was beautiful. This is very sweet, it's playful, it's a happy scent. You have strawberry notes in here, which I do love. And the strawberry notes in here, may I just divert to Christian Dior now? This does remind me a little bit, ever so slightly, of Miss Dior Cherie, with that sort of sweet cotton candy strawberry cherry note. This does have cherry and strawberry in here. This is very close to your Miss Dior Cherie for those die-hard fans like myself. But yes, this was created by Francis Kurkdjian, and might I just add that this is a really great dupe, and I'm going to explain after why, but this is a great dupe for one of his fragrances. So that's my Burberry Her. So Francis Kurkdjian has also worked with Guerlain, and you guys know how much I love Guerlain so much. And he's created this fragrance here, which is your Rose Barbare. And Rose Barbare is your woody rose. There's some aldehydes in here, there's some honey and patchouli in this fragrance as well. It has this really interesting vintage vibe to it. It reminds me of the types of old-fashioned style fragrances that are the French perfumes with the little atomizers on the side. It just reminds me, it gives me that vibe, very classic, vintage, sophisticated lady. Rose Barbare is such a beautiful, stunning rose. So that's a fragrance also that's been created and designed by Francis Kurkdjian. Okay, so I would like you guys to stop what you're doing right now and take a moment to subscribe to my channel. If you like the content today, I'd love you to join my family of darlings here. And in the comment section, could you write down your favorite Christian Dior perfume and also your most loved Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrance? I would really love to know what you guys are loving out there. So let's head back and let's talk more about Christian Dior fragrances. I have a few Christian Dior perfumes for you here, and I have my Hypnotic Poison and I have my Hypnotic Poison Eau Sensuelle. What does Francis Kurkdjian have in store for us? Do you think he's going to be bringing back some of the flankers that were so loved? Do you think he's going to bring that back? Do you think he's going to be listening to what his consumers are looking for and his, you know, die-hard Christian Dior fans? Do you think he's going to bring back some of the flankers that we are missing so much? I really do hope he extends this range again. And I really don't mind flankers, guys. I just think if you love a fragrance, it's always exciting when they bring something new. You want to try it, and you never know, you might just fall in love with something new. But I think it would be really nice to bring out more flankers rather than reformulate a perfume. I would rather you extend the line, so that's really interesting as well. So that's our Hypnotic Poison. Another fragrance by Christian Dior we have our J'adore L'Eau. As it states, this does smell like gold. It smells like amber, vanilla, it's sweet, it's sensual. This is a beautiful fragrance, which I'm pretty surprised not many people talk about this perfume. I think with J'adore, I'm pretty happy with J'adore. I don't think they need to make any other changes, but if they do bring back something that has like more rich amber intense notes like this one here, I think that's what's missing with Christian Dior. I think we need a bit of excitement, we need a bit of change, something bold, and the House of Francis Kurkdjian, that's his whole element, that's how his art stands out, and I really love how unique his perfumes are. Although Francis Kurkdjian is a niche house, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, obviously the quality of ingredients are going to be very different in comparison to a designer house, and there's no doubt in my mind that the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian is going to change. I'm sure the quality is just going to remain the same. This is what he is known for, and I think this is what he is loved for. It's the quality, it's the longevity, and I think the variation of the different types of fragrances and how unique they are. I feel like there's nothing quite like some of his fragrances, and many people try to replicate his fragrance, and I think that's quite telling of how great your fragrance is. If everyone's trying to create a dupe or something very similar, then that's such a good sign. So I'm really interested to see what he's going to bring forward. Now, I do know we are talking about a designer house here. We're talking about Christian Dior, even though we do have the private collection as well. So actually that's another thing that I'm quite looking forward to as well, because we do have the Le Collection Privé. And let me just show you some of these fragrances here. I have my Gris Dior and I have my Fève Delicious. This is your niche section from Christian Dior. And I'm going to be really interested to see what Francis Kurkdjian is going to bring forward there, because I feel like maybe there are limits on the designer perfumes compared to what he can create with the niche. And now I'm really excited about this, because I think these two are the most popular fragrances. Most people are always wearing either Gris Dior or Oud Isfahan. Amber Nuit and Fève Delicious is one of the most popular fragrance that everyone is looking for. What is he going to bring to the niche division now? Guys, this is just too much. I'm just like too excited. My gosh, you guys, you know me. I think Francis Kurkdjian is going to be looking at the dresses and the types of women that wear this perfume, or the new clientele he wants to attract now to Christian Dior perhaps. He may want to broaden the types of fragrances that he has, so then he can make a fragrance to suit a different clientele perhaps. I think with, you know, Christian Dior, I think they are fairly parallel to Chanel. I feel like Christian Dior might be slightly more adventurous than Chanel. Christian Dior is all about femininity. I think the fragrances are classic, perhaps not as classic as Chanel, but a bit more sophisticated and not as timeless, but elegant, feminine. I think with Christian Dior, there's a Christian Dior perfume for everyone, whereas Chanel, It's a little bit harder to find a fragrance for everyone, I would say. However, they do have their Auchance range, which is more catered and targeted to the younger demographic, I would say. I think now maybe Francis Kurkdjian might be thinking, how could I incorporate different types of notes to make the brand and fragrances a little bit more exciting? Christian Dior focuses a lot on florals, especially rose. We have the Miss Dior here. This is the 2017 release, and this is all based on rose and some rosewood notes. We've got some bergamot in here. And then we have our new release, which is this bottle here. Again, this is highly floral. Iris, violet, peach is in here, a little bit of sandalwood, but this is very light and delicate as well. Compared to this one's a bit sweeter. I think Francis Kurkdjian might look at this range and say, okay, let's change it up. We've done the florals now, we've done the rose. Let's add some exciting, powerful notes, something different. I don't think Christian Dior has done oud. I know oud is quite an expensive fragrance note, but perhaps they might be able to do something similar with maybe some oud notes, maybe a heavier dose of sandalwood or patchouli and amber. Something just so different. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think in terms of the changes, I think we will see different notes being used. I have my Rose and Roses here. This is your 2020 release. This is rose, violet, musk. It's powdery. It's so beautiful, guys. There's citruses in here as well. Such a beautiful daytime fragrance. But I do find this is light. It's not very challenging. I think anyone can wear this. It's not as unique. But of course, this is designer and this is beautiful. But I have a feeling that Francis Kurkdjian is just going to change things up and just change the whole collection. So I'm so excited to see that. But darlings, with all that being said, how much power does Francis Kurkdjian have? Is he able to just change things up completely? Can he just discontinue everything and start again in his own way, of course? But can he just say, look, we're no longer doing this delicate rose anymore. We are no longer discontinuing beautiful fragrances that everybody is asking for. Let's bring them back. Let's listen to what everyone is saying and let's create something magical, mind-blowing. And I think that's the direction that Christian Dior is heading. But how much power does Francis really have? Can he incorporate all these magical notes that he's been using before in his whole line? So let me remind you about some of his fragrances, because this is something I do wonder about. We're talking about Francis Kurkdjian and the blends, the notes, the powerful notes that he uses. Darlings, I always say, whenever I wear these fragrances, I mean, fragrance for me is not just about the scent, it's about the silhouette it adds to my everyday attire. It's about the way it makes me feel. It's about how it uplifts my mood. It's just more than a perfume. To me, it's art. There's a story behind every fragrance, and I say this every single time. Now, I have Oud Satin Mood here. Beautiful, favorite of mine. Rose, oud, violet. It's powdery, it's powerful, it's just beautiful. Then I have a very soft, powdery. We've got orange blossom in here, jasmine. We have some violet notes in here. This is a great daytime scent. If you like powdery scents, a little bit sweet, not sugary sweet, but a sweet floral, but delicate, but strong. This smells so clean and fresh. I love it. It's such a happy scent to wear in the day. Can Francis Kurkdjian add these notes? How is he going to work? I mean, I know, okay, he has worked with Burberry before, and he's worked with Elie Saab, he's worked with Jean-Paul Gaultier, he's worked with Elizabeth Arden, so many other designer houses. But okay, so let's just use this as an example. Let's imagine we're a tailor on Savile Row in London, and you're used to working with the finest materials, you know, high quality silks and just different style of material. And now you're working for another company now, so you've got this skill, and now you have to transform this skill. But you know the power in your work, you know what you could create if you had those materials. I'd like something exciting and powerful and bold, and I'm really hoping to see that integration of using, it doesn't have to be just finer quality, but just a different note, something that's going to excite your senses, something that's going to make you stand out, something that's going to awaken the brand and be like, okay, this is it, guys. This is something totally new. This is going to be a new Dior. So everything we saw before, it's over, it's gone. It's just going to be something magical. And if he can create what he created before with oud satin mood and gentle fluidity, and oh my gosh, there's just so many. If he can bring a little bit of that, we're only asking for a tiny bit. If you can bring that to Dior, I think that's what we are looking for. So I'm really excited to see this, and I do welcome him to the brand and the house. There's so many of us that are so excited to see his work, and like I said, to me, it's art. And I think being based in Paris, you're just flooded with all these, you know, wonderful ideas and inspirations from the city, and just that vibe alone, it's just going to push you to just make something amazing. There's something about his personality that he's just going to bring forward to the brand. And not that I've met him in person, not as yet, but I would be honoured to have tea with him in London or even Paris. That'd be even better. But yes, I'm really excited about everything that's heading our way, guys. I think this is a new beginning for Dior. I had a poll on YouTube asking you all to share what you would like to see Francis bring to the brand of Dior. And thank you so much for voting. I was really interested to see you guys and see what your thoughts were. I think the general consensus was that we wanted to focus more on longevity, so that would be interesting. I think for myself, if you bring out a fragrance, stick with it and just make it long lasting. Just keep it there and don't change it up too frequently. I think I've seen this pattern where they bring out, for example, Miss Dior, it comes out for 4 years and then they change it to something else and they reformulate it again. Incorporate a flanker, and I think we are at a time now where we are buying fragrances and we don't mind. Well, I personally don't. If you guys do, please let me know, because I don't mind buying a flanker of a perfume. That's actually fine for me. I like when a perfume that I love is extended and there's like different variations. I do love that. But it would just be nice to see, and I don't want to make comparisons too much, but just as an example, if you take Chanel, for example, I feel like their perfumes are so classic and timeless because the fragrance just stays the same. And yes, they might reformulate it, but it's not as frequent as every 3 to 4 years. For that reason, I have every single flanker. So guys, yes, I think I've been talking so much about this. I need to calm down, make myself a lovely cup of tea. And I think because we're talking about Christian Dior and Francis Kurkdjian, I'll be enjoying a lovely French cup of tea from a wonderful French house. I'll be enjoying that today. I love Christian Dior and I do love Francis Kurkdjian. So I am a very happy darling here indeed. You've got my niche house and my designer house joining forces together, and I'm just so excited to see. I think 2022, guys, is going to be huge for Dior. Dior is going to blow up so much. It's just going to be crazy, and I just can't wait to be a part of that journey. So darlings, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.